Praise the Lord and welcome to the good news of a life without fear. I'm Bob Fowler. What an honor, privilege, and joy it is for me to be with you. Hey, if I haven't told you lately, let me tell you something. Thank you so very much. And I want to honor you for the time that you're investing in this program, either live or on the rebroadcast. Time is the most costly and the greatest thing that you and I can ever invest in any area of anything. And so thank you so very much for watching the program today. And I pray that you open your heart up with expectation, saying, Lord, I want to receive something from you today. Well, let's get right into this today. We began a series entitled, What is in Your Hand? And I used Moses because he really is the greatest character and figure concerning this topic, and where God actually asked him, Moses, what is in your hand? And as I pointed out yesterday, God saw what was in Moses' hand. So what was the purpose for God to ask Moses what was in his hand? Because he wanted to draw Moses' attention to the significance of something that he wasn't aware of. As I pointed out yesterday, when Moses left Egypt, when he was exiled instead of executed, he finally found himself in the land of Midian, where he would meet his in-laws, marry his wife, and there tend his father-in-law's flocks. The sheep, the goats, the herd of flocks, that was his job. Well, one of the instruments and tools of any shepherd was to have a staff. That staff was used to ward away predators. It was also used to move and nudge the sheep, to protect the sheep, to guide the sheep, so on and so forth. But it was common. They would go out, they would find a limb from a tree or a trunk of a tree, they would cut it down, possibly even shape it, and then that would be their staff that they would carry around. Just like a carpenter would carry a hammer, a sheep herder would carry a staff. Now, he was out of Egypt for 40 years. Okay, think about this. And I'm being generous with 10 years. For nearly 30 years, it is quite possible that Moses carried around that staff, that stick. He knew what it was for. In his later years, as he got older, it would actually become a support system for him. When he was going through the rugged terrain, he would use it to stabilize himself in order that he would not fall. Well, when he stands before the Lord before the burning bush, he had that staff with him. And as he went into Egypt, he had that staff with him. And at the point of God asking him, what is in your hand? He had that staff. Okay, so the significance of small things and asking the question that God asked Moses, Moses, what's in your hand? Well, what was in his hand was this staff. And God told him to throw that staff down. The staff turned to a serpent. God told Moses to once again gather and pick up that staff and take that staff into Egypt. Now, that staff was used by God when they left and they were challenged at the Red Sea, that he lifted up that staff and spoke the word of the Lord, and the sea parted and the children of Israel walked across on dry ground. Now, before I move on past Moses, this is something that he was so familiar with that it was second nature for him. Whenever he went out to tend his father-in-law's flocks, that he had it with him. He took it with him. And God pointed and brought his direction to what was in his hand. Now, why am I leaning in on this? Because there are things that we have done for years. There are things that we've been faithful over, watched over, performed, done, that God has brought into our lives, that if we're not careful, we will lose sight of not only its significance in the present assignment, but its significance beyond being faithful where we are, its significance in where we're going. Let me give you a for instance. Maybe you're on a job right now and you're not high up on the ladder. You're performing a job that in your mind anybody could do. Well, when you're an owner, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to despise the person that will now hold that same position that you're holding. You will value them, honor them. You'll understand the significance of staying faithful to an assignment even when it doesn't appear to be so spectacular. So there is value in what is in your hand at this moment, right now, today. You may be somebody that's watching children, babysitting your own children, or babysitting other people's children. You may look at your life and say, how could God use me? What could God do in my life and through my life? My friend, I want to encourage you to be faithful over what is in your hand. Let's move on now. Jesus said in Luke chapter 16, verse 10, "He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. And he who is unjust in what is least is unjust also in much." Now let's look into this for just a second. He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. You see, it's not about, Lord, when I do this and when this dream or this word or this vision comes to pass, I'm going to really be faithful. No, it's all about the now. Where you are now, what's in your hand now, what your assignment is now, what your season is now. What's important is what is not what you're going to do then and how faithful you're going to be then. It's how watchful, mindful, and faithful you are right now in what is in your hand. Now, only you know what is in your hand. Only you know the task that is in your hand. Only you know the season that you're in right now. And if you're not careful, and I mentioned this yesterday, if you're not careful, you're going to become frustrated over what's in your hand. You want the big thing. You want the promotion. You want the dream, the vision, the word of the Lord to be actively alive in your life now. Well, my friend, it is actively alive in your life right now with that staff that is in your hand, tending the sheep that is right before you now, working for your father-in-law just as Moses was working for his father-in-law. It's right now. It's not about what you're going to do in the future. It's not about what you've done in the past. It's about where you are right now, where God has planted you for a specific reason, at a set time for a specific purpose, and it's not just for the now. You are sowing and you are watching over what is in your hand now for later. It's about being faithful over the little things. And God knew that we were going to get, it's interesting, when we first get what we have now in our hand, we were excited. We were thankful. We were grateful. We were appreciative. But over time, we can become weary in well-doing. We can lose sight of the importance of the assignment that's in our hand, and we can change our attitude toward what is in our hand. Do you remember when God first gave you what is presently in your hand? Do you remember the attitude that you had when you first received that word of the Lord, that assignment, that job, whatever it may be? Where are you now? Because the challenge is maintaining, continuing with the same attitude of gratitude and worship and thanksgiving to God over what is presently still in your hand. Now, I got to tell you, I understand it is a challenge. And God knew it was going to be a challenge. Jesus knew it was going to be a challenge. If he didn't, he wouldn't have said this word. The challenge for all of us is to realize that the dream, the vision, the future, the ending of your present season and the beginning of the next one is in God's hand. What's in your hand is valuing, being grateful and honoring the assignment and what is presently in your hand. In Zechariah 4:10, we read these words, "For who has despised the day of small beginnings?" Some translations translate it this way: do not despise the day of small beginnings. Now, typically, even when the small beginning begins firstly in your life and first finds itself at rest in your hand, you're thankful, you're excited, you're grateful, you're worshipful, appreciative, you honor it, you value it. But as time goes by, where is your attitude? I almost feel like we should have named this program Attitude Check, because your attitude is so important. You know, it's not just about performance. It's not just about performing the task. Do you have a joyful attitude? Do you have a grateful, thankful attitude? Those are the areas in which we're challenged. Well, when is this going to be over? When am I going to get what I've already seen? When is God going to move? When is the mountain going to be removed and cast into the sea? I'm believing in my heart. I'm speaking it, but when is it going to happen? You know, that type of groaning and moaning and grumbling and complaining is only going to keep you where you presently are longer. Let us not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap. Now, when is the due season? I don't know. You don't know. But God knows. In due season we shall reap if we do not faint. You know what will happen what will ultimately happen when our attitude changes toward what is in our hand? You know, maybe today you just need to look and say, thank you for my family. Thank you for my life, my house, my present vehicle. Rather than being frustrated and wanting that next car, that next house, what about being grateful and thankful over what is in your hand? You see, if we allow a bad, stinking attitude to invade our present situation and what we are holding in our hand, it will poison it, it will corrupt it, and ultimately, it's going to, at the very least, delay what God is wanting to do and what God has shown you that He is going to do. I want to encourage you today, as you look at what's in your hand, have a grateful attitude, have a thankful attitude, have an appreciative attitude, and watch what God will do. We're going to continue this series tomorrow, What is in Your Hand? And I believe that these programs are so significant because they're very personal. They're not so much about the future, they're about where you are right now. And that's where we all are. No matter how much we want to be in the future, every one of us are planted in the now. Very present now. That's where we all are. And so if we're all there, shouldn't we be mindful to have an appreciative, grateful attitude over where God has planted us and the assignment that He has put within each of our hands? Hey, if this has been a blessing to you, I pray that you would share it with your friends on social media platforms. Go back if you have not watched yesterday's program and catch it. It's not too long, but it is beneficial to you. I pray that you would go to our YouTube channel at Faith is the Victory Fellowship YouTube and subscribe. Hey, never ever forget, He is faithful.